Hey guys, how's it going? So, looks like we're not completely out of the woods yet when it comes to the Genshin Impact community drama that kind of bleeds over into the Star Rail community, but mostly Genshin Impact community. So, what happened was Atsu dropped another huge document going over his side of the story, what he's done with the fallout with everything, trying to apologize, trying to kind of like make amends while also kind of seeing if he can kind of make things settle a little bit. And it's getting mixed opinions, I would say, at best. And then on the flip side of things, Braxophone did the same thing. His last thoughts, final update on the whole Genshin Impact community drama. And he does about the same thing, tries to clear everything up, say, hey, I talked to Atsu, I made amends, I am kind of clarifying some points, trying to say maybe these are things that I might have like responded to in a more overreactionary way. And they're both basically doing the same thing, but Atsu's more so. Atsu is 100% trying to do damage control. So before we jump into this, before we kind of start to review this stuff, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Hitting that like button helps me out, helps get the video out there, and hitting that subscribe button helps us grow a community over here, helps us grow the channel. So if you can hit that like and subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, with all that being said, let's begin to dive into this. So I have read both documents. I have read Atsu's and I have read Braxophone's. Braxophone's keeps it to about 2 pages. And it's just literally just saying I might have made some overreactions. I stand by a lot of what I said in my initial document, and me and Atsu just talk things out. And like I said, Atsu does just a lot of damage control. He does kind of own up to some things, but a lot of things he tries to say, no, you all got this wrong. Here's my evidence to the contrary. Some of it, he does bring some receipts for things that are more so alleged. Like, for example, a lot of what Braxophone brings up is based on hearsay opinion. And unfortunately, kind of like what Asmongold was saying, back when this shitstorm was going down, Asmongold made a very good point. A lot of this stuff we just don't have evidence for. And because of that, we're just relying on circumstantial moments and just a lot of people saying, yeah, I kind of feel this way about Atsu. Yeah, Atsu did say quite a bit of times that, hey, we should maybe not talk to this dude. And it's all hearsay. It's all circumstantial stuff. And that's the thing. You can't really nail somebody to the wall when it's just circumstantial hearsay. So I do want to just say that even though Atsu does look really sus, and I will say that in my opinion, he does look super sus, and I just don't see Atsu as a guy worth putting your trust in. And so now, with all that being said, I want to jump over to watching a few videos. In this case, I want to start with Tectone because he goes over the TLDR. And I'm going to obviously add commentary as we progress through. So definitely check out Tectone. Definitely check out his video. I'll leave a link in the description. One of my favorite content creators. Even though I do see his faults, I have named them several times. I do think that he brings a more abrasive point of view. And then that's why I'm going to eventually switch to Mtashed, because he brings a more on the fence point of view. So let's jump into this.
This document is very long, but I feel like it's necessary to go into detail with.
And it is very long. The document was like a little over 40 pages. It was a long document.
evidence. Here we go. Braxophone and I have spoken privately. We have apologized to one another and cleared up any grievances and misunderstandings.
So he's claiming that they have spoken and apologized to one another, and he's done so with Goose as well.
I also spoke to Goose in private regarding our drama from years ago. We also apologized to one another. Let me explain to you why that argument is complete manipulation. This is painting the narrative that they both wronged each other equally, and they are both equally sorry.
And he does bring up an interesting point of view, because it can give out that impression that, hey, we both apologize to one another. But the thing is that he doesn't state why they apologize to one another. So, for example, based on when we looked at Braxophone's document, Braxophone states that he only apologized for basically any misunderstandings he might have made due to his awkwardness. But for the most part, Braxophone also says that he basically stands by everything that he said in his initial document. The only thing he really apologized for was bringing up something that involved a sexual assault allegation that was mostly just brought to him in a more hearsay manner, like, hey, I heard this guy might be... And it's some third party, some person that is not even involved with any of this. He just says, hey, this guy might have done something really bad, and I think Atsu might know about it. But it's just hearsay. It's just like, okay, you heard that, but do you have any evidence? Do you have any evidence that strengthens your point about this dude or not? And that's the only thing really Brax, for the most part, apologizes for, is that he brought up something that was completely a hearsay situation.
I have already spoken to Goose about this in private. He merely told him that he would be the bigger man and let it go, but that the damage that he had caused to Goose's life would never be healed from and never forgotten. Would you like proof? Because I can also show proof if you'd like. He makes it seem like y'all equally apologized. I mean, I straight up told him he me. And it's going to take some time to completely get over that. And I won't ever be able to forget about it. Yeah, he did not make it seem like that. Bro is such a snake. And
there you go. This is a clear sign that in this case, when he says that, hey, we got together and we apologized to one another, that when he words it that way, it does make it seem like there was mutual wrongdoing. When, for the most part, I mean, you can just read this. I'll read just Goose's part again. I mean, I straight up told him he fucked me. And it's going to take some time to completely get over that, and I won't be able to forget it. So, that is... I mean, in Goose's case, there was really not much for him to apologize for, because Atsu literally, based on everything that Tectone has provided, and even Atsu has admitted to, he straight up screwed over Goose and Tectone, and by proxy. And there was nothing really for Goose to apologize for. So literally, a good example is when Atsu said, hey, I also spoke to Goose. We apologized to one another. No, the apology was mostly needed from your side. Goose didn't do really anything wrong.
And also, in case anybody's worrying, Goose gave me permission. So let's just stop with this whole bullshit that I apologize, you apologize. Oh, it was equal. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. And it's just insane how this narrative has already been spun out of control. That people are already going to believe this shit immediately. And it's just simply embarrassing. Calling him a mindless yes man, that he is manipulating me, that I am manipulating him. Atsu goes after the place where he sleeps. He goes after the people who he is interacting with. He destroys a relationship by painting a narrative that me and Goose are not allowed to be together, destroys a friendship, hurts a marriage, ruins a place of residence. He does all of that, then never, ever talks about it again for 2 years, never had proof about anything that he said 2 years.
And that is kind of true. Atsu at the time just made a lot of claims. And it's the same thing, similar, I would say similar to the Brax situation, where Brax is bringing up just a lot of hearsay and just circumstantial evidence that really it's hard to point at and say, hey, we need to nail this guy to the wall on it. So, but to my point, Atsu did that to Goose. Atsu was just calling Goose a mini Tectone. He was saying that Tectone's manipulating him, so on and so forth. Just saying things without any clear evidence. And it got in Goose's head, and it destroyed Tectone and Goose's relationship. And in this case, Goose was roommates with Tectone, and it destroyed their relationship to the point that Tectone kicked him out. Like, that literally destroyed Goose's livelihood. And it did literally destroyed his livelihood. Because of that, he took his home away and destroyed his, at the time, destroyed his career. Now Goose is starting to get back up on his feet now that all of this has come to light. But that's the thing. When you make claims without any clear evidence that backs up whatever you're claiming, it can destroy someone's livelihood, and Goose is the case here.
Years later says, oops, oops, my bad, la 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 la, and then skips along like a little stupid piece of shit. Now you're lucky. Goose is a good dude, and he's really willing to let bygones be bygones. And he's always been that dude. This whole narrative of Goose used to be an idiot just simply isn't true, and I tell you this genuinely, his reputation will never recover from the bullshit you did to him. You are lucky that he's willing to be cordial. I wouldn't be. And I'm absolutely not going to be that cordial. That. Absolutely not. This whole bullshit of, oh yeah, well, we both apologized to each other because we both messed up. Shut the f up. Genuinely, unrespectfully, shut the f up. This shit is trash. You know it's trash. And while you might be taking advantage of people's ability to be cordial, and who want to move past this shit, you will never fix the damage that you caused, and you're barely trying to correct that, because you're not getting them to, you're not saying sorry because you mean it. You're only saying sorry because you got caught. Because where was all these feelings of the remorse when you were destroying Brax's reputation?
And I think there's a point that can be made here. I think to some degree that is true, that Atsu may be just wanting to bury everything and apologize because he got caught. And one clear thing that you could be made out of this to like strengthen that point is with Goose. Goose was out of the picture for like 2-ish years. And then it's not till now he's finally getting with Goose and apologizing and trying to make amends. And luckily for Atsu's sake, Goose has taken the high road. It was only after things went down with Tectone and Brax. So I think there could be a line drawn to that conclusion that he is just apologizing because he got caught.
When you were destroying Goose's reputation, where was that at? Oh, you only apologized once it was trending on Twitter.
Exactly.
Damn. Imagine that. Atsu, you might be smart enough to fool a bunch of dumb, but you're not going to fool me. I'm sorry, man. You're just legitimately not. This doc is not good enough. Legit. They are not good enough. Brax has documented many allegations, some very serious ones and others less so. However, there's little evidence provided to back up these claims. Assumptions were made, and I understand why Brax thought everything led back to me. However, that doesn't change the words that came out of my mouth and actions caused pain for Brax.
And this is what I was saying. I think Atsu is sort of right about this, that a lot of it is just assumptions with little to no evidence, and some of that evidence is just circumstantial, just taking dots and drawing lines and being like, hey, there's some links that can be made here. And in some cases, I think those are pretty strong links, pretty strong circumstances. And in some cases, it does seem just like, well, there's not enough here to nail this person to the wall.
Okay, so let's talk about this. This is essentially saying every assumption and every allegation from Brax's document was proven completely untrue. It wasn't. Atsu, you were telling people to not interact with Braxophone, proven by your own friend's words.
Now, this is going to be
on Twitter.
an interesting point.
Because we're talking about the era of proof, right? Even said...
So Tectone's only going to read part of it, but I actually want to read all of it. I cannot speak to all the claims in this doc, and I am processing it at all, but will tell you I was very confused by Atsu's distrust for you, and said so in the car after the Anime Expo party where we all met. And unfortunately, that is where my investment stopped. I heard passing comments about you here and there, but never bothered to ask questions or make my own mind about these issues. I need to apologize to you and take accountability for not paying more mind to the growing divide between Atsu and our friend circle, and you. For not actually getting to know you myself, I have been focused with my career and happiness. Happy to have friends in the CC space, apathetic and unconcerned with how this ousting might have felt for you. Reading this now, I could see how much it has hurt. I will leave it to Atsu to explain where the distrust stems from. I'm looking forward to hearing it as well. But no matter what, I owe you an apology, and I am sorry it's so late. Basically, she heard passing comments about you here and there, but she never bothered to ask questions, and she was very concerned and confused by Atsu's distrust for Brax, and even brought it up to him. This is where we're getting at here. She is, in a way, a witness to this, because she is one of Atsu's closest friends, yet she was baffled by it. And there are other people who are in Atsu's circle, or were just around Atsu's circle, that can claim the same thing. And this is where I'm getting at. There are multiple dots, and you can draw a line to each dot that's saying they are aware of Atsu's distrust for Brax, and even inquired about why, and she even says here she heard passing comments. But it doesn't really, she doesn't have, she says she's heard it, she says she's witnessed it, but she can't bring any concrete proof to the claims. Being a witness and hearing it and seeing it is one thing. Yes, that's good. That helps. But can you provide proof? And that, as far as I know, Dish cannot. So we're only getting, there's a whole thing, but she's only being able to provide half by being a witness and hearing it. But she can't provide proof. And there lies the problem. Her evidence she's providing is just circumstantial. It's just, we're only getting half of what we need. And so in Tectone's case, I'll let him speak for it.
Been stopped. Your own friends have seen your attempts to sever relationship after relationship with content creator due to your own negligence of your words.
So he is basically saying what a lot of people are feeling. This is just something that's adding more to the fuel to the fire, that does draw a clear picture that Atsu is 100% sus. I will agree. I 100%, me personally, agree to that. But it's not anything we can nail Atsu to the wall with. I can make personal opinions. I can put my own take on this, which is he's sus. He's 100% sus. But it's like, if we were going to literally put the nail in him, it won't be enough. It's not enough to put the nail in him.
There is your proof. You can say it all you like. Oh, well, And I have a great little thing here, right? And you know what? No, we're gonna save this for later. Let's continue down this. Let's continue down this little roll here. We found out that there's someone else that has been gossiping about Brax. This person shares the same circles Brax and myself have, so naturally, from Brax's perspective, it was going to look like it was me. We are still digging for the complete truth and do not want a public manhunt. We will be dealing with it privately.
All right, this is very sus, and this is where things kind of, for me, kind of start going off the rails. I'll let Tectone provide his take first.
Oh yeah. So none of the actions that happened weren't my fault, guys. They're from an anonymous guy, and we're not going to say who it is, but it's this other guy. Yeah, it's the other guy who's doing everything, and we're not going to say who it is, and we're also not really sure if it's true or not, but it's the other guy. So let me ask you a question. So did this happen before or after that you said Brax was a creep? Your words, that Brax was a creep when you first met him in your document that you deleted. So was this before or after that? Because then if the guy was before, then why'd you trust him so much? And if it was after them, then why'd you think he was creepy? Oh yeah, it's because this is the deflection. This is a pivot point. This is a little carrot on the stick to get all the dumb to chase after. Like, oh, there's an evil villain. There's an evil villain somewhere else. Oh, it's not these guys. We'll go find that random guy. I'm not sure who he is or what he did, and it's all going to be handled privately, so we'll never know. So now that's why this entire scenario that was made public, I'm sorry, this is not allowed to be held in private.
And so, yes, this is, in my opinion, very, very weird. It's so weird to say, hey, it turns out when me and Brax, when Atsu and Brax totally talked, which I believe they did, they came to the conclusion that there is a third party, a third individual that's working for the shadows, that is manipulating both Atsu and Brax and potentially other people as well, and just controlling everything, screwing over a certain portion of people and assisting in another portion of people, and that this third party is actually after Brax and maybe others, and is, I guess, maybe picking and choosing who they want to help too. And that's the thing. It's just so ridiculous. It's literally projecting, but in this case, it's projecting, but creating a phantom third party that is actually working for the shadows. And what this does is basically say, oh, so I wonder who this third mystery person is. All right, let's grab our torches and our pitchforks and start looking for that third individual that's actually working in the shadows to fuck everyone over. That's what this feels like. Like with Tectone's example, it's just a carrot on a stick. And this is the part that also bothers me. Because when you go to Brax's document, he unfortunately supports this whole opinion. There is someone else in the community, not Atsu, who does not have a favorable opinion of me and has been souring the narrative. There are also some folks who lied to both of us. However, we do have the ability to contact these folks privately, and if we decide to bring it up to them, it will be in private. I ask that we move on from this chapter of the Genshin Lantern Rite PvP update, and then it just so on and so forth. But this is what kind of irks me. This is what kind of bothers me, is that Brax is holding up this whole phantom third person thing. And yes, I'm just going strictly on my opinion. I find it hard to believe that a third person is working from the shadows to screw over Brax, and Atsu, just by talking to Atsu, he found out that there was a third phantom manipulator going on. It just screams projection and deflecting. It doesn't work for me. Yeah, I don't feel like this is good. I just don't feel like this is worth whatever they're trying to do. And in this case, I'm just wondering if Atsu, because I find it hard to Brax kind of buys into this. I'm wondering if Atsu said, hey, we need to find a way to kind of get the fire out from underneath us, more so Atsu's side. I don't think there's any fire under Brax, but can we just like create like a whole narrative like there's a phantom working behind in the shadows trying to actually screw you over, and we're just gonna work in secret. It doesn't work.
Name needs to be posted. You cannot have a topic that was trending on Twitter for 5 days that has affected the livelihoods of multiple creators. You do not get to handle that shit in private. You do not. You literally do not. This is far too big.
If the thing is that it's honestly their right if they want to handle it in private. It is their right. But on the other hand, I see what Tectone's saying here, that they brought it forward. They made it public. Both Atsu, Brax, everyone has made this public. You have already made it public. And to say, all right, now we're going to handle this moment private. Well, you already made it public. Everyone's in on the know on it. Everyone's aware of what's going on now. And in fact, it turns out there's more people involved that have been screwed over by Atsu. And if this Phantom Menace, if there's a phantom manipulator in the background actually orchestrating all this, then everyone who might have been potentially screwed over along with Brax has the right to be involved as well.
And I'm sorry, it reeks of bullshit to me. It reeks of bullshit. So let's see the proof, man. Let's see who it is. Because you saying, oh yeah, it's this random other guy, don't manhunt him. Well, unfortunately, do you know what this post has done? This is now going to cause a general unrest amongst the entire community, because now nobody knows who they can trust. Nobody knows who this is or isn't referring to. And now there is going to be general unrest amongst all Hoyo CCs.
And that he brings up another good point. Because this has already been made public, and now you're bringing up that there's a third person working in the shadows. I mean, like I said, the people that have actually been involved with being screwed over, and if it turns out it wasn't Atsu screwing people over, but this third party, they have a right to know. And now the content creators that believe they've been screwed over are going to be probably hitting up Atsu and Brax going, hey, what's going on? Is this third person actually a legit thing? And then because it's already been made public, the community overall, and especially the communities for each of these content creators, they're going to be wanting to get involved too. They're going to want to know who's this third person is, so they can figure out if they're going to support this third party who's been working in the shadows. Yes, I understand why Brax wants to handle this privately. I understand why Atsu wants to handle this privately. But because it's already been made public, like Tectone's saying, it's going to create somewhat of a civil unrest. It's been public. The genie's out of the bottle. You can't just put the genie back in the bottle and say, all right, guys, we're just going to go back to being completely private about this.
And you can't see that, again, because you're too busy trying to save your own ass to understand the consequences of your own action. It is actually insane. People are not entitled to my time or friendship. I hope the wider audience realizes just because creators share the same space doesn't mean they have to be friends or like each other. Atsu, you dumb rat. No one, and I mean no one, has been saying that. No one is saying that you need to be friends with everyone. No one is saying that.
And yes, I mean, literally, like what Tectone's saying, it literally is just the obvious. No one, even myself included, and everyone I know, is you don't have to be friends. It's like anything. It doesn't even have to involve content creation. It could be literally any job. You do not have to be friends with the people that surround you due to a community or work or what have you. We just want you to stop screwing this dude over and being a snake and going to people that happen to be in the same community and saying, hey, don't work with this guy. Hey, I don't trust this guy. And hopefully that means that if you know that I don't trust him, that you probably shouldn't trust him either. Just literally talking shit behind this dude's back just because you got bad vibes. It was literally it. You're going behind Brax's back, going to the people within the same community that Brax would like to work with, and you're fucking him over by talking shit behind his back. Telling everyone not to work with him. Telling everyone that you don't trust him because you got bad vibes. And that's the point. We're not saying that you need to be friends with Brax. Brax even said you don't have to be friends with him. He tried. He tried to be friends with you. But when you said you didn't want to be friends with him, he was totally cool with it. He just wanted to know why you didn't trust him. Why you found that he wasn't, like, trustworthy or able to keep confidential information. And you just threw that in there without any merit. And at least I'll give Atsu this. He at least admitted in his huge ass document that he believes that he went too far when he said that. That's great. That's great, Atsu. That's great that you admitted that you went too far. But all we want to know is why you wanted to go behind his back and talk shit and get people to stop or even reconsider working with him. That's where you went too far.
What people are saying is you should not go behind other people's backs and prevent relationships by shitting on people and lying to people about things they didn't do to make those relationships not happen.
Exactly.
No one is saying you need to be friends. And the fact that you're landing this with this partial truth that not a single person would disagree with. No one is ever going to say, oh, I'm not going to watch Atsu because he's not friends with everyone. No one is saying that. No one is saying that. This is what you call a pivot. This is what you call a partial truth. Okay? No one is arguing that.
All right, and now I want to transition over to Mtashed's video. Definitely check out Mtashed's video. I'll be leaving a link in the description below. Hit that like button on his video and definitely head over to his channel and give him a subscribe. Cool dude. But this is where Mtashed is going to be important to all this because he plays a middleman role. And I believe this is also a very important view.
Or can we maybe talk? Can we maybe work it out? And Tectone alludes to this at like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Listen.
Mtashed does.
Listen.
And feel free to answer.
Listen to this.
A guy who goes and he talks about the issues with the community. Okay? Oh, drama guy, don't listen to him. So when I do it, it's bad, right? But when Mtashed does the exact same thing, what
Tectone's trying to ask here is when he responds to drama, when he gets involved with drama, what's going on with this duality here where Mtashed doesn't get as shit on like as much. He doesn't get shit on as much. Versus Tectone just he gets a lot of shit. Then that's the question he's trying to ask.
Why is it okay when he does it? Let me tell you why. Because Mtashed sees the good in people and is fighting very hard to make sure everyone gets along.
Okay.
That. Absolutely that. These people are snakes. They're
Can you see also the second he makes that, he says, F that, these people are snakes. We obviously view these things very differently. I do want conflict resolution. I do want someone to be punished if they ruin someone's livelihood.
And to speak on this, it's basically like, yes, and Tectone kind of hits the nail on the head here. He pretty much is right. Mtashed does try to see the good in everyone. He does have a genuinely good heart, and I see that. And he means well, and that's why when he's talking about this and he's bringing this up, and it's also because he's trying to play a middleman role. He's trying to see both sides. So, of course, no one's going to really dogpile on Mtashed because he's just trying to do what he's saying here, conflict resolution. Whereas Tectone, as I always say, and Mtashed will say here as well, Tectone is always trying to poke the bear. Due to his abrasive nature, he is always trying to poke the bear. And it turns into a situation of the wrong person saying the right thing. In this case, the very abrasive person saying the right thing. Because Tectone has this vibe of being abrasive, being very adversarial, when you hear this dude saying what everyone else is probably thinking and is pointing to a problem, everyone's going to be like, well, is he bringing this up just because he wants to be adversarial? Whereas when Mtashed is pointing at it, we're getting this from a very middleman perspective. He comes off because he's playing in the middle. He comes from a very unbiased point of view, and so everyone's going to see Mtashed pointing at it and going, "Okay, there might be something here," because he doesn't usually try to pick sides. So his judgment is probably unswayed. And that's the thing here. That's why where you come from and where everyone perceives you to come from can play a role in how people respond to you when you call something out. And that's the point I'm trying to drive home here, is that to analyze Tectone's point here, that's why Mtashed doesn't get shit on as much, because he doesn't carry the baggage with him of being abrasive and adversarial.
And unless we can prove those things, it's very hard to be the judge, jury, and executioner. Do you know what I'm saying?
And to his point here, Mtash's point, yes, that is the issue here, is that we have a lot of accusations. We have a lot of claims. We have a lot of dots on the board, and we are able to connect some of those dots and make sort of a picture out of it. And we have at least created a picture where Atsu looks very sus. But it's nothing concrete to pin him on the wall for.
Is like, I just want the truth.
Yes,
and
we want the truth.
Truth is, unfortunately, I think a lot of this is opinions. Tectone will never get over this. Atsu and Brax, I'm sure, they've recovered, they've done it. But at the same time, a lot of this stuff could have just been quashed privately. And we are in a community of a bunch of people fighting. Am I a bad person for wanting to see the good in people, or wanting to see if maybe this could be fixed? If maybe there's been a miscommunication? Why would I want to be in a community where everyone fucking hates each other? It's miserable. It's been miserable from day one.
And that's why I wanted to do Mtash's video last. Is because this man really nails it in. The community is completely divided. And I brought this up to a friend when I told him about the Genshin Impact stuff, the Genshin Impact community drama stuff. The community is completely divided. The community is divided between people that are just super cope and think everything is fine about the game, and they don't even want to bring up constructive criticism in fear of upsetting the Hoyoverse devs, which is ridiculous. But the other side of the community is the part of the community that believes in constructive criticism, wants growth. And so you got one side of the community that thinks everything's fine, and the other one believes that there's a good game here, but it could be better. And because the community is so divided, it creates a very toxic adversarial atmosphere where everyone's just pointing a finger at each other and literally just everyone can't agree. And I think that's the source of everything. That's why the content creators are divided, because their communities are divided. And that strengthens a very big divide between points of view.
So yes, Tectone is right about this. I do try to see the good in people. I do think that if less people were being jerks to Envy, the world would be a better place. If Envy never made that post, the world would be a better place. If Atsu and Brax talked and figured this out long ago, the world would be a better place. But obviously, in the Genshin community, it can't be. So I'm just not going to bother, and I'm not going to do it anymore.
And he's right. I agree that a lot of this stuff would have never blown up if the content creators in the community could be at least on the same page or close to being on the same page. And because there's such a huge divide, because content creators have done, or assumably done, things that probably they shouldn't have done, the divide wouldn't have gotten worse. And that it's not going to get better, as we've seen with Tectone. Tectone is never probably going to forgive Atsu for what Atsu did when he screwed over Goose and he screwed over Tectone. Goose might have taken the high road, but Goose is always going to hold it in his heart that Atsu screwed him. And with Brax and Atsu are probably just going to be on a truce. They're literally, it's probably a truce, to be honest. And then you bring in Envy. Envy went too far. I'll just put it that way. Envy went too far. And Tectone's never going to forgive Envy for what he did. And because the bigger content creators in the community on both sides are literally, they pretty much hate each other. The content creators that happen to be within their bubbles, like the content creators in Tectone's bubble and the content creators in Atsu's bubble, they're just not gonna work with each other. These worlds won't work with each other because everyone's gonna be in fear of screwing over their friendships and any potential future deals or cooperations they can make in the future.
Because if I can make a video talking about some of these things, and then people dunk on me and just call me a fence sitter, or they call me someone who's like an apologist to these people, and they're trying to make me look like I've got something wrong with me because I want people to like each other. And when we come into work in the morning, everyone's waving, "Hey, Bill," instead of trying to stab each other in the back. Sue me. I'm so sorry. There's the Canadian coming out. I'm so fucking sorry that I don't want it to be a goddamn warfield. And that I pray and hope that there's a glimmer of hope out there.
He's also right about this, because everyone's now just going to be more established in their bubbles. It will feel like you're just towing the line between a warfield, a battlefield. And poor fucking Mtashed is right here in the fucking middle, just being like, oh my god. If I even slip up once, I'm going to piss off one side.
But it doesn't seem there is. So I'll leave it at this. I don't know where everyone stands with me. But with Atsu, I'd call him a friend. Brax, I'd call him a friend. Tectone, I'd call him a friend. I don't wish ill will on anyone, and I never did from day one. When I entered the community, I wanted to make some guides on Genshin Impact because I thought it was a pretty cool game. And I think that a lot of people dunked on me early on.
I think it's a great game too. That's why I advocate for updates and improvements for the game. And that's the biggest thing about the side of the Genshin Impact community that wants that values constructive criticism, is that we do love the game. We advocate and criticize the game because we want the game to be better. And that's why I always gravitated to people like Tectone and people like Mtashed and Gotcha Smack and other creators of that sort is because I value constructive criticism, because I believe in improvement, I believe in optimization, I believe in change for the better. Things could always be improved, and that's honestly, I can see it in his eyes. That is all Mtashed wants. He wants to make guides. He wants to make videos with the hope of making video games better. That's why I'm a gamer too.
And a lot of people, 99%, have apologized. But there are so many people that started it. And I've been okay with them. And I haven't continued the feuds, and I quashed the feuds in some cases. I'll give an example of one that I didn't. Razor Ninja. The only clips I ever saw of this guy named Razor
I don't even know
Ninja
that
was
dude.
him dunking on my content, and so I've just never apologized to him or let him apologize. I just think he's an asshole. I think he's an asshole. I'll call it out. But everyone else has apologized and like been like relatively chill. And so for that, I am their friend. I am their colleague, if you will. But I have not been super close with any of them. I've got DMs, we've chatted here and there. Some of these people though, I've talked to like twice in 4 years or 3 years. It's not like we're buddies. We're not we're not talking about our life and our families and our futures in a lot of these cases. I'm not super close to anyone. And so the narrative of like, oh my god, Mtash is best buddies with Atsu. Now he's against Tectone. Shut the hell up. Or Mtash is chill with Tectone now. He can't be friends with any of the community. That's just fucking sad. I never wanted that or asked for that at all. I just want to fucking get along with everybody.
And that's the thing, man. And that's where I'm saying Mtash is like right there in the middle. He's got to be in this super uncomfortable position where he wants both sides. He wants a community that can be united and just work together. I get that. And this is why I vibe with Mtashed so much, is because I also came from the Destiny 2 community. And him and I both look at that community because we still play Destiny 2 to this day. I just don't play it on stream or make videos on it anymore. But I'm still part of that community. And for the most part, the Destiny 2 community is a cohesive bubble. All the content creators vibe well with each other. They all work well with each other. I see Destiny 2 content creators making videos together all the fucking time. But in the Genshin Impact community, because it's divided in 2 spheres, you're only allowed practically to work with the content creators in your sphere, your bubble. So with Mtashed here, he's got to make, unfortunately, and I feel for the dude, a decision. I mean, because the 2 worlds of Genshin Impact are just butting heads, if you pick one, you fuck over the other. He's literally at a crossroads, because I know what he wants. He wants to make content with other content creators. I feel that. That's why it pains him. He sees I know he does. I know he looks over at the Destiny 2 community and sees how the content creators in that gaming sphere, that community, are working with each other all the time. And then he looks over at the Genshin Impact and he's like, why can't we all get along?
I want to collab with Ziox. I want to do some character reviews where we both talk about characters. I want to be able to make a video with Tectone and no one goes, oh my god, he's with Tectone.
See?
I want to be a community.
I know where he's going with it.
Happen. So at the end of the day, if you watch this video as a content creator, if you hear about it, if you get a clip of it, if you want to be friends with me, I'm down to be friends with anyone. I want to have cool creators to talk to. I want to be friends. But I'm not going to fucking try, and I'm not going to try to do it myself. I think everyone's fucking snaking each other and stabbing each other in the back, and I
And as someone who, even though I am a baby content creator, as someone who does enjoy making videos and making content on video games, I'd be happy to. I'd love to work with this guy. I'd actually just love to talk to him. I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with Mtashed. Because I honestly feel like we could literally talk about games for days on end.
I don't know who to fucking trust. If you want to be my friend, let me know. My door, my DMs are open. But like, I feel like I'm on a fucking island here because it doesn't matter whose side I pick. I'm wrong because they all fucking hate each other.
And that's the part that broke me. When I was skimming for this video earlier, before I decided I wanted to make a video like with this video, when he said this line, I could hear his, and you could probably replay and hear it. His voice cracked right there. And as someone who I am very empathetic, I can hear it in his voice that he genuinely means it. It pains him to see a whole community just at each other's throats. And because he's trying to play the middleman, and he's just wanting everyone to get along, you could hear it. Like I said, you could hear it in his voice, especially when he said that line right there. It kills him. And as someone, like I said, who is very empathetic, when I heard that break in his voice, well, his voice starting to break, it just killed me. It killed me. Like, I just felt for him. I just wanted to point that out. Like, I genuinely empathize with him.
And like, I'm trying to be like, impartial with these things. I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, but then it's like, oh well, no, now you're siding with them. You're wrong. And it's like, I think everyone made mistakes here. I've made mistakes. I'm not a perfect human being. I've made massive mistakes in my life that I regret, and like, you grow from it and we change, and like, that's why I want people to move on. If I look at me in the past, I'm not the same guy that I was. And like, I would hope that I don't get crucified for the mistakes I've made. And like we're just all fucking people. I fucking hate this. It's so stupid. I don't even want to be part of the community anymore. I don't even want to associate with half of them because it's like, it just feels like fucking fake. It just feels.
And he's right, because, and again, it just goes back to him being a middleman. It has to kill you to know that if you start collabing with one of the two bubbles, the two spheres in the Genshin Impact community, and unfortunately, you kind of forsake the other side. And as someone who is just wanting to see the best and the good in everyone, when you know that you've just pushed the other side of the community to the side, it would have to hurt you, because you're just like, damn it, I don't want this. I don't want to have to choose. And because he sees this and he sees the two communities constantly battling one another, it's just like, what's the point in being here if no one gets along? And even though I'll say this here, even though I personally do feel like Atsu is way too sus, I in my opinion, I just think he's too sus. I've said it 1,000 times. I would be able to want to work with him if I was ever provided the situation where I could. I wouldn't. I would find him too shady. But as Mtashed here, I can see where he's going with this. He wants everyone to get along, and it evidently kills him. And I understand that, and I feel that.
Phoned in like, oh, now we're all buddies. Like, fuck off.
And that's true. With Brax and Atsu, I mean, like I said, it's a truce. It's basically a truce. If they're calling each other, if they're saying they're friends now, they're saying they're cool now, it's a very loose truce. We all see it.
I'm just gonna keep making some videos on whatever is interesting to me. If I make a guide, I make a guide. I'm gonna do some reaction stuff, but like, honestly, like, I understand, oh, this is the final one, but this obviously is important to me, or like, it's in my community, and like, sue me for wanting to maybe shed some light on the other side. Or
And that's the thing. Again, going from my personal opinion, even though I have my opinions about Atsu, I don't blame him. I don't blame Mtashed at all for trying to see both sides, for trying to be the middleman, for trying to be the person that is like, "Hey guys, calm down. Let's try to work things out. Let's try to be a cohesive community. Let's be united. Let's put our differences aside." I don't blame him for doing that. I get why, and I support him for doing that. But and that's why I feel so bad for Mtashed.
or at least give everything a fair shake. But it just feels like it was a big waste of time.
It wasn't a waste of time because you 100% believed in what you were trying to do. Wasn't a waste of time at all. Because he felt passionately about it. I saw the passion. That's why he was breaking up there for a second. Because he was passionate. He wants his community to be united, and no one can blame him for that.
It feels depressing, bro. So this is my last video on it. I do not give a fuck what Tectone says. I do not give a fuck what Atsu says. I do not, like, I will not respond to anything else. It's just, I wanted to give my final say of, like, no one was right here. Everyone made mistakes. Literally, no one is coming out of this as a saint. And if you are siding with one of the creators and being like, "Oh no, they were right all along," or "Oh no, they defended themselves," and no. The only one who is perfect and handsome and has a thick, juicy ass and wears glasses is Welt.
But that's, again, and I'll say this, and I'm not going to say that if either like Tectone or Mtashed or Atsu watches this video or whoever, if you guys watch this, I stand by my opinion. I can have a very critical opinion of Atsu, and I do. I have a very critical opinion of Atsu. Tectone, again, abrasive, a man who loves to poke the bear, a man who just says what he wants to say off the top of his head. But because of those personality quirks, he has to live with the fallout that occasionally brings his way. When you poke the bear, you got to understand that sometimes the bear is going to wake up and try to fuck you up. Atsu, if the assumptions are true and you're going behind people's backs and you're being a snake and trying to screw over people, don't be surprised when the people that you screwed over come your way and call you out for it. So Atsu has to live with the repercussions of what he allegedly did. Tectone's got to understand that he's got to, unfortunately, be ready to fight a bear when the bear fights back when he pokes it. And then Mtashed, my heart breaks for him since he's playing the middleman. He is just trying to get a world that is completely divided to unite. And like I said, I feel for him. I absolutely feel for him. If he ever hit me up, and I'll say this to Mtashed, again, if you're watching this, Mtashed, if you wanted someone to talk to, I'd be down. And just let you know that it sucks. It 100% sucks. I wish the Genshin Impact community was also more like the Destiny 2 community, where everyone seems cool. And don't get me wrong, there are people that are cool in the Genshin Impact community, but it sucks that they're literally at each other's throats. So that's my thoughts. I am also wondering if the Genshin Impact community will start to settle down now after everything has happened. But I really do hope that we can all kind of at least settle down and get back to what we were trying to do. Again, I said this in my last video about all this drama, which is go back to wanting Genshin Impact to improve, to get Genshin Impact and the team behind Genshin Impact to get their heads out of their asses and make their game better. Because remember, that was the point of all this before it went to hell. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys later.